Hey, what's going on? I'm Remix3, and you're here for Music Monday number 2. Let's go. Alright, so you're here, you want to learn about how to properly prepare for a live show. Your band may have gotten a gig, you may have gotten a solo gig somewhere, but somewhere along the road, you are going to play live music for people. First of all, a congrats is in order. Congrats. That's a fairly challenging thing to do. Good for you. So I have 7 tips here that I'm going to share with you through my experiences, what I've learned of just playing shows the last 7 years, all the way from high school to now I'm out of college, just what I've learned. Alrighty. So you're probably like, why should I listen to this dork with froofy hair and a stupid big Nintendo collection and a dirty hat with a Pokemon pin on it? He doesn't play shows. Yes, I did before, but I can't say that on here, man. I'm going to roll some photos right here, right now, me, past shows. So yeah, I've played drums in bands before. I've played bass, not for more than 2 songs. We would switch, I'd go off the drums, they'd hop on, and I'd play the bass. It was cool, it was fun. And I've played guitar. It's been a ride. In my experience, I've been doing this since I was, I want to say 16. I'm now 23, so that's 6 years. I'd say that's a pretty good amount of experience of playing live shows. So the first tip that I want to say, it's probably a pretty obvious one, but practice. Duh, but practice. And there's 2 sub points to this whole idea of practicing. The first one is practice to a metronome. Please have a click going. Have some sort of a tempo going, because when you get up on that stage, if you haven't practiced with a metronome, I guarantee you, your tempo is going to be up and down and left and right and inverting and doing all this weird shit no one wants to hear. Make sure you can play your songs and make sure you can play them on time. So just make sure you're practicing with a metronome. The second sub point to number 1 here is your first couple of shows are going to be as good as your worst practices. So if you understand what I'm saying here, you have a great practice the week of your show. Your show's not going to sound like that. It's going to sound like the shitty practice you had 3 weeks behind you that you and your band totally wants to forget because everything fell apart and for 3 hours you just couldn't get it together. That's going to be your show. You need to practice your butt off. You need to go ahead, practice. I can't drill it in. Practice with your band 2-3 times a week. Practice by yourself. Whole time, make sure you're using a metronome. Practice. So the next tip I want to share with you guys is just double check your gear. If you're playing drums, pick up a new pair of sticks if you think yours might snap halfway through. Make sure your kick pedal's in order. Make sure your snare's in order. All your shells and your cymbals, your stands. If you're bringing gear as a drummer, make sure it's not going to crap out on you halfway through your set. If you're a guitarist, make sure you put new strings on your guitar. Make sure your cables aren't going to fritz out on you. Make sure your gear is in proper order. So when you show up to that show, all you have to do is plug in and play. Because there's been too many times when I've been playing guitar for a show or bass or drums or whatever, and something just goes wrong. And we have to cut a song. We have to cut 2 songs. It happens more than I want to admit. Make sure your gear is in tip-top shape. It starts with the instrument, it goes to the cables, it goes to everything. Make sure your stuff works. The next tip number 3, kind of ties into this. And this is one where I find helped me the most, is the last couple of practices before your show. Take it takes 2, maybe 3 minutes, and be aware of what you're using. Don't go passively into packing up your car and leaving for the gig because you're so excited. I can't tell you how many times I live from my hometown venue. I'm 5 minutes away. I was the kid who always ran home because someone forgot a strap, someone forgot picks, someone forgot this or that, and I'd be like, yeah, sure, I'll go get it, no big deal. But like after like the third time, like, holy shit, dude, like what's going on? Like, don't play the show if you're not gonna bring your own gear. That being said, take a couple seconds, look down. You have your guitar, it's obviously on a strap if you're standing up. You know, you have a cable, maybe you have some pedals. You have 3 pedals, you probably have 3 cables between them. A cable going in, a cable going out. That there is 5 cables. You have a amp and a cab. There's another cable from, you know, the amp to the cab, the amp and the cab itself, the pedals themselves, your pedal board, if you have one of your guitar case, your picks, a battery if you have active pickups. All of these things, be aware of them. Be very aware of them, because I guarantee you, day of the show, you know, God forbid you roll out 2 hours to a new venue and you forget, like, oh shit, I forgot this or that, and now you have to roll another half hour to Guitar Center to go spend too much money on something that you have like 10 of back home, because you just can't stop forgetting it. So be very mentally aware of your gear, of what you're using, and you know, everything that goes into your sound as a musician. That's something you should be proud of. The sound you curate is genuine and it's one of a kind and it's yours. So be proud of it. And make sure when you go to your gig, you can replicate your sound accurately and confidently. The next tip actually ties into this. It's make a checklist. Simple as that. You know, all right, guitar, write it down. All right, strap, write it down. You know, 2 25-foot TR cables, 4 patch cables, I don't know. Whatever you use, power cable, power box, you know, for your pedals, whatever you're using, make sure you got it written down. And don't pack up 30 minutes before the show or an hour before you have to leave. You know, put everything in a pile the night before. Go through that checklist. You know, leave everything inside obviously overnight. Don't put it in your car, God forbid it overheats or whatever. But get your stuff, put it together the night before, go through the checklist, make sure you got everything in order, and I promise you, your life will be so much easier. So make a checklist, and that ties into the tip before, just being aware of your gear. The next thing that I have pertains to the show itself. Show up early. And I don't mean like show up 10 minutes before, you know, you're supposed to show up. I'm saying show up 15 to 30 minutes before, you know, doors open, or even they usually ask bands to get there early. Show up before that. It makes your life easier, because parking could be a total just, you know, wreck. It allows you to like explore the area. If it's new, find a place to eat whenever you get a chance. I'm guarantee you're gonna be hungry before you go home. Just get there early. It makes it easier on the venue. The people there, they know you're there. You know, if they need you, they can just get you, and they're gonna love it that you show up early. Now, don't hang out in the venue. Don't be like on their backs, on their shoulders, but just be there. You never know when somebody's gonna need you or the band, or you can help someone out. You can meet someone new. Something could happen. And even if nothing happens, you're still there early. I guarantee you're not gonna be late. Win-win. Show up early, get involved. The next thing is, and this is something that my personal scene was plagued with. I'm guilty of it. Don't leave early. You know, don't leave early. Show up, but show up for everyone. Show up for all the bands. Sure, there's gonna be shitty bands you're gonna play with. I guarantee it. I've been in a majority of them. But stay and watch, because that is respect. And I guarantee you, the venues notice what bands leave. They notice what bands dip out after their set and disappear. It's my scene. Everyone knows who leaves early. Show up early, leave late. Watch everyone, especially if you're in a band. It is just, and like I said, I'm guilty of this, but it's so disrespectful to show up for your 30-minute set that probably no one's gonna remember and then go home. Like, at that point, just stay home. So watch everyone. And the next 2 tips kind of, you know, get involved with that. Meet everybody. You want to meet everyone at the show. Maybe not everybody, but as many people as you can. Like I'm saying, get involved. You think someone had a cool song? Tell them. Someone had a great set? Tell them. People love hearing that. I'm guarantee it. You as a musician wish more people told you your music was great. That's why you're watching a video on playing your first couple of local shows. You want to be told you're great. Tell other people they're great. It's hard. It is so hard to walk up to someone who just played a banging set that you think you can never even get close to achieving. I mean, like, that was cool, man. Like, awesome. Like, that's hard for me. I'm sure it's hard for a lot of you guys. But get over that fear and start connecting with people, man. Start talking to the other bands. Start making friends. You know, if you've seen a person at a show 2, 3, 4 times, walk up to them, say, hey, like, I've noticed you at this venue. Like, I'm playing shows. I'm obviously here. Like, what's your name? Like, just get to know people. This is something I never did enough of. I will be the first person to admit my biggest regret when my scene was popping off a couple years ago. I mean, shows every weekend, maybe 2 shows a week. I mean, it was insane. I didn't meet anyone really new. I had my group of like 6, 7, 8 friends, however many it was. And I was playing in the shows too. And my biggest regret is I didn't meet more people. I didn't make more connections. I didn't hang out with more people. And yeah, and it kind of blows. So don't make that mistake. I made that mistake. Don't make that mistake. Go out, meet people, hang out, get out of your comfort zone. I mean, if you're going to like local shows at a venue, like everyone there's a dork, like whatever, man. Like me, I'm super into metal. Like everyone there's gonna be super cool. Just talk about metal, you know, talk about whatever genre the show is. Talk about the artists, talk about the other artists. If they're in a band, talk about their band. You got this. Just go meet as many people as you can. And that extends to, you know, venue staff, the engineers, security, even the security guy at our local venue. I never met him, but I never saw the dude not talking to someone or not smiling. He was easily and most obviously the happiest person there at all times. So just meet people. And then the last tip, this is the last tip, and this is the one I'm most guilty of. I got it in 2 parts. The first half is get your head in the game. No ego. No ego. Don't think you're hot shit, because you're not. Show up. Be humble, man. Ask to help out. See what you can do. You know, if you see someone carrying a heavy amp, like, yo, can I give you a hand? Like, let me get that for you, man. Like, you know, like, how can I help your band get on stage faster? How can I help your band get off stage faster? What can I do to help? And that goes into meeting everybody. That goes into watching everybody. What goes into getting involved. There are so many times where I was like, oh shit, like I wish someone would help me with this amp. But, you know, my whole band is, your bandmates have to take care of their own stuff. You know, your guitarist too still has to take care of their guitar, their amp. Your drummer's got to probably carry a good amount of gear to the stage, even if he's using a house kit. Same thing with the bassist. The vocalist is probably schmoozing, being a loser, but hopefully he's helping someone. That's not just your band. That's everybody's band. So be the person that helps out. People are going to appreciate it. People are really going to like it when you stick your neck out for them. And in the music world, that goes a really long way. It goes much longer than you could ever imagine. So help people. I think the big picture I'm trying to get at here for this video is get involved. Get to know the people you're playing shows with. Get to know your community, especially if you find yourself going to the same venue for shows and you're seeing the same, let's say 10 bands being mixed up every couple weeks. Get to know them. They're part of your community. Get involved in your community, whatever it is. Music, video games, you're a triathlon runner, I don't know, whatever. Get involved. It makes all the difference. It makes everything run so much smoother. And this is something I've been guilty of my whole life, is not getting involved in things like this. Because it's always like, oh, they don't need me. They have it figured out. Or you ask and every time they're like, no. Imagine that one time you ask and they're like, oh my gosh, thank God you asked. Like, we would have never gotten our stuff together. Like, you were the difference. And it'll happen eventually. And you never look bad for asking. So just get involved. That's the big idea here. Practice with the metronome. Double check your gear, make sure you have everything, make a list. Go to the show, show up early. Have your stuff. If you're doing pay to play, God, I hope you're not, but if you're doing pay to play, turn your money in early and get involved. Watch everyone, listen to everyone, meet some people. You know, make it a goal. I'm gonna meet 2 new people at this show. 1 new person. I'm gonna talk to 1 new person. I don't even have to remember them, but I'm just going to talk to 1 new person, get involved. Last but not least, remember, you're at the bottom of the barrel. You're playing a local show. Have fun. Get out of your comfort zone, get a little wiggly, and just shred. So I hope these tips help. I really hope you take them to heart. I promise you, if you take these to heart, if you do listen, they're going to help you a whole bunch. you'll save yourself 8 years of mistakes like I did. So yeah, that's the video. If you learned something, if you found something interesting or anything like that, give the video a thumbs up maybe. You can hit subscribe wherever that is, I don't know. Hit the notifications if you want that little, hey, RayMX3 posted a video. So if that sounds cool, hop on it. If not, I get it. That's cool. I don't really subscribe to people either. On top of that, I stream on Twitch Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Different times. Twitch.tv/RayMX3. That is going to be down below in the description. And I think that's it. So thank you for tuning in to this wonderful Music Monday. Couldn't have done it without you, and I hope you're here for the next one. If you are watching this on Monday, the day it actually has been released, I will be mixing a song on Twitch live tonight at 4 p.m. 4 to 8 p.m. Every Monday I do this. I mix a song. I get it from my friends, I write it, my band, whoever, and I mix it. Come learn, come hang out. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm rambling. This is a lot of fun to make videos, so I'm glad I'm here too. Anyways, with that, I'm going to go. Bye!